Can a person who committed suicide be saved?
I know that there are times when the best of Christians sometimes becomes depressed or sometimes mentally disturbed. And there are moments when we do things in a rush moment, not because we don't understand that it is wrong, but because we are passing through a low spell. There was a time when I thought that if a Christian had those moments of weakness, he could not be saved. And now I know that that is not true. I know that God will save people not because of what you do in a moment, but because of, as somebody would say, the direction of your life. I wouldn't say the direction of your life. I would say it's because, in spite of your weakness, you have committed your life to the Lord. Now, you have committed your life to the Lord. I, as a Christian, you, as a Christian, everybody in this room, you sometimes make a mistake. You sometimes do things that you didn't intend to do or that you intended to do, but you were sorry for afterwards. If in a moment of great depression, in a moment of discouragement, you happen to make a choice to take your life, does it mean that God cannot forgive that sin like He has forgiven you so many times when you recognize you did something wrong and you said, I'm sorry? I remember reading a story of a guy who jumped from a bridge somewhere in America, hundreds of feet. He managed to survive. He jumped into water, but it was such a height that nobody expected him to live. And he said the moment he jumped, before he had traveled 2 feet, a great regret came upon him. The moment he jumped, he lived to tell the tale, and he spoke of the terrible regret the moment he jumped. What I'm saying is that I don't believe that God's grace only covers you when you manage to say, I forget, I'm sorry. Or if you manage to live a life that has no flaws, I believe that the grace of God is such that even when you make a mistake, even when you have not had the chance to open your mouth and say, I'm sorry, I believe that the grace of God covers you because you have given yourself to Him, and He understands if sometimes you are not quite perfect. That's what salvation is, that's what grace is. And so I don't believe that people who commit suicide, by and large, are in that condition of salvation. I don't believe so. I don't believe Christians get to that place very often where they think that there's no hope. But I believe it is possible that it can happen. Maybe not very often, but it's possible. So I'm not going to say nobody who commits suicide can be saved. I will say it is unlikely, but I'm not going to say it's impossible.